Hello, Wayne. My name is Christy. Me and my wife live in the suburbs of Chicago. My story starts about 6 months back when me and my wife both found a woman and her three children homeless out on the streets from Venezuela. Now, although there was a huge communication gap between us, we felt sorry for her and her children. So me and my wife let her move in with us around 6 months ago. For the first 2 months of them staying with us, everything was fine. The lady, which I will not give you her name, is a wonderful cook. She can cook a variety of different dishes, and she makes a great house cleaner as well. So we decided to go ahead, instead of her paying us because she had no money, that we would allow her to cook and clean for us and do our laundry and take care of our house, as me and my wife both worked full-time jobs every day, and we are not home. So this worked out fine for the both of us. Her children are wonderful kids. They are loving, caring, and they're very quiet, and they listen. Their mother is very strict on them, which I can understand, having all girls. But my problems start right here and now. 3 months after she moved in, I noticed a change in her. Her behavior had become quite erratic with her children. And she was also using my phone a lot to call someone back in Venezuela. I believe it was the children's father, or maybe even her husband. My wife asked me if she could buy her a cell phone. That way she wouldn't be using our home phone, because we still have a home line. For our jobs, we need it. We do have cell phones though. So my wife convinced me to go out and buy a cell phone for the woman. So I did. And the woman was very happy. And so was I, because now she quit using my phone and running up in a long distance phone bill on my landline. I was quite happy about that. But one night, I heard a noise around 3 a.m. in the morning. I got up, opened my door, and walked down the hall. I can hear the woman crying. I was wondering why she was crying at 3 a.m. in the morning. So I stood by the door to listen, and she was just doing that. She was crying. She sounded so sad. I wish I could have knocked on the door, but I didn't want to intrude or let her know that I heard her crying. So I just went back to my room and fell fast asleep. A few days have passed, and one night, as we were sitting at the dinner table getting ready to eat, there was a knock on my front door. My wife got up and answered the front door, to which stood a man that we had never seen before. This man was very tall, about 6'3", and weighed almost 300 pounds. He was a huge gentleman. He didn't speak any English, but he kept saying, "Mi esposa, aquí, mi esposa, aquí," and we didn't understand what he was trying to tell us. Later we found out that he was telling us that his wife was here, and indeed, the woman who lived with us with her children was his wife. Me and my wife, at this point, we didn't know what to do. All we could do was invite the gentleman into our home and set him at our dinner table and feed him. The woman sat right next to him, holding his hands as they were eating. I thought this was kind of strange, how they were holding hands and both eating, and the children were excused right after they ate, and the father told them to go to their room. Later on that night, again, it was around 2:30 in the morning, we heard the awfulest yelling that me and my wife had ever heard. I got up to go see who was doing the yelling because I heard two different voices. As I opened my door, the yelling became very clear. The man and the woman were yelling at each other practically at the top of their lungs. And I did not understand what they were saying as they were both speaking their native tongue, which quite had me which had me quite concerned for me and my wife's safety. And I didn't know what to do except go back into my room, lock my door, and try to get some sleep. Thank God it was a weekend, so we didn't have to work the next morning. The following day, when I got up, I smelled a good smell coming from the kitchen. Obviously, the woman had cooked for us. Me and my wife went out and we ate breakfast, which is a really good breakfast. And the man was nowhere to be found. When I asked the woman, "Where's your husband?" the woman said, "Cardo." I didn't understand what she was trying to tell me. But then I realized my keys were missing from the wall, where me and my wife hang our keys on a daily basis when we get home from work. So our keys are always there, but my keys weren't there. I went out to my garage and my car was missing. Come to find out, the man had taken my car to go look for work, or that's what they claim anyway. This is becoming a nightmare from hell. We went from a homeless woman and her girls, her children, bringing them into our home, helping them out, not charging them any money, to her husband coming and now trying to take advantage of this situation, I guess because there's no man in the house. I don't know. But I'm growing short of patience with both of them. I hate to kick them out because of the children and all, but it's getting to the point where I can't handle them, for they are always fighting and arguing. And now she's trying to borrow money off of me every single day. It's not a little bit of money either. It's $100. Last night, she asked me for $500 so her husband can go out and look for a car. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And now me and my wife are fighting almost nightly. We never do this, but now it's a nightly thing for us to fight and argue over these people. And I don't know how to get them out of my house. That's the worst thing. But I'm going to close with this, Wayne. My wife left me and told me until I get these people out of my home, she would not come back to me. And I'm stuck. Do you have any advice for me to help me? How do I get these people out of my home? Because they refuse to leave. I made the biggest mistake of my life trusting folks that I thought were good people. Turned out that they're not so good people. And it was all facade. And I fell for it. So that's my story, Wayne. I'll be listening for your advice. Thank you. Wow. So, yeah, I heard so many different stories like that in Chicago where this is happening. It's a bad thing. Yeah, you feel sorry for these people, but here's what happens. You're living it. They take advantage of you. And I'm sure with the way laws are in Chicago, you just can't kick them out of your home. You have to go through the court. If I were you, I would start the paperwork right away, immediately, no matter how much it costs. Get yourself an attorney, start the paperwork, start that eviction, because it could be a year or even longer for them to get out of your house. I don't know what the laws are like there in Chicago, especially the laws on housing. I don't know what people's rights are, renting or not renting. If they move into your home, are you allowed to kick them out? Or do you have to go file court papers? Do you have to wait a certain time? These are all things I can't tell you. You have to get a professional. You have to get an attorney and go to the courthouse and file these papers to find out what you can do as an individual to get these people out of your home. Other than that, you're screwed. I would have never done it. You're crazy. I mean, I'm just telling it as it is. I live in California, and I would never bring a stranger into my house. I don't care how sorry I felt for them. Hey, if the government let them in to your city, then guess what? The government should be responsible for them, not you. Okay? The government wants you to be responsible for them, and then they don't want to help you out when you need it, right? So screw the government and screw the people that you feel sorry for. Let them go. Get them out of your house, because it ain't going to stop. You lost your wife over this. Are you kidding me? Don't feel sorry for them. Feel sorry for your wife. She came in it blind. You know, you're the one that made the decision. So she has every right to leave. Did you even ask her if she wanted it? You know what? Okay, I'm sorry. But it is the way that it is. You people are so confused up here in your heads. You guys vote for this crap. Why do you vote for this? Why do you let it happen? It's all good and roses until it's not, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, now you're living it. Now you understand why a person like me would never do what you're doing. Get legal advice. Get the courts going. Get the paperwork going. And file. That's all you can do. I'm Wayne, and I'll talk to you on the next one.